Hello. Uh, Today we're going to be talking about developing a calm attitude. What this is useful for is to understand the ways in which we often get bumped by life. When I get bumped by life, you might feel defensive or irritated or have a strong emotional reaction. What many individuals do when they are bumped by life is that they react with a strong negative, attacking, critical, irritated position. And what I have found very useful to teach individuals is to develop a different way of replying and responding. Rather than a mindless reactivity, what we want to cultivate is a sense of responsiveness and reflection. And that is what a calm attitude ultimately is about. It's about stepping outside of our everyday thoughts, feelings, and reactions and developing a perspective that allows us to wonder, a perspective that allows us to reflect, and a perspective that allows us to respond to our situations in a way that's going to be most helpful to ourselves, to the people around us, and to gathering a pathway toward the future. So, first, let's notice the word calm. Calm obviously represents a way of being relaxed and content. It represents a way that is exact opposite of feeling defensive, irritated, or reactive. The calm attitude is an acronym that stands for four different words that I would like to walk you through. The first, C, stands for curiosity. A stance of curiosity is one that's opened and inquisitive as opposed to one that is closed and certain. The curious stance is one that seeks understanding, asks why questions. What is happening to me? What is another person, if another person's involved, and how might I respond to what is going on? Consider, for example, if somebody comes up and says, hey, you said that thing the other day. I didn't really like the way you said that. Immediately, many individuals would get defensive and tense and perhaps irritable towards the other person or critical towards oneself. What the calm attitude advocates for is a way of stopping, and rather than reacting immediately to a bump, it says, wait a minute, what is actually happening? What is the person telling me? How am I responding? Where does this comment come from? What is it that they are responding to in the past? And what might it mean? Curiosity, then, is an attitude of exploration and understanding as opposed to an attitude of defensiveness, closeness, and certitude. Closely connected, but also separate to the idea of curiosity, is the idea of acceptance. Acceptance refers to learning how to tolerate your feelings and other people's feelings, learning how to come to peace with yourself, and learning fundamentally how to be in the world without insistence, desire, judgment, and rejection of things that you do not like. It's a stance of non-attachment to the way the world has to be. Acceptance dates, and the importance of acceptance dates all the way back to Buddhism and other Eastern traditions of wisdom. Buddhism focuses much on suffering. The frame for Buddhist suffering very much involves the combination of pain, negative emotions, distress, injury, with the attitude of resistance. Resistance is the attitude of, I don't like this. I won't tolerate this. This has to be different. I don't want to feel this way. Another person shouldn't be this way. The world is unfair. These are all attitudes of resistance and rejection and judgment. A crucial mental ability is the ability to maintain a presence with what is. It is what it is, and the capacity to mindfully accept that is a developed skill that will allow individuals to be in a wide variety of different domains. Following acceptance, we have loving compassion. Loving compassion is an attitude of general positivity toward humanity. It means taking a step back and thinking about humans as valued beings that warrant dignity and respect. It's about recognizing also that most people, most of the time, are doing the best they can. This includes individuals, for example, who may approach you and complain about something. This includes individuals who maybe even cut you off as you're driving down the road, or individuals who you get into a significant conflict with, and they make a judgment about you or assert something about you that is unfair. Most of the time, individuals are doing these actions for the same reason we engage in these actions. And that is, we or they are getting bumped by life. We or they are seeing things that we want to control. We or they aren't sure the best way to go about it, so we react. How do we hold individuals with esteem, with dignity, and respect as they move through life? Well, this is what loving compassion fundamentally is about. And compassion here refers to the wish to alleviate individuals' suffering, discomfort, and pain. It's about identifying with them and their interests and offering a nod, an attitude, an expression, a heartfelt feeling of goodwill that enables you to extend yourself both to yourself and to others in a way that is fundamentally compassionate. The M stands for motivation. Motivation here refers to a motivated stance toward your valued states of being, ultimately in the short term and in the long term. So this involves identifying your valued states of being. To understand this requires some deep reflection. It requires some ideas about what are your guiding principles in life. Who is it that you want to be over the course of your life? What do you imagine, for example, at the end of your life and someone is giving a eulogy? What might be the things that you wish they would say about you? Those values, those guiding principles are your distant, big values. Distant in terms of they cover the arc of your life and represent your ultimate concerns, your ultimate ways that you want to be. It is crucial for us to be guided by a core set of values that enable us to understand how we want to be and become, so that we can anchor ourselves towards a compass that guides us to what we might call our true north. That is our true ultimate sense of concern, our ultimate purpose, our ultimate sense of what is good. Those are your long-term values and your core values. Of course, we also have much more practical short-term outcomes. So if somebody comes up to you and complains, hey, you did something I didn't like, you then have an outcome value. How do you want this to go? One option would say, hey, maybe I want this to go so that we both get very angry with each other. We both attack each other, we both insult each other, and I hope I come up with the best insult. Well, if that's your value, then go ahead and proceed to get defensive and critical. My value, and what I encourage really when people think about it, what their values are is to understand when individuals have a problem, to recognize that that problem signals an underlying need. It signals an issue that they have, an issue that they want to get resolved ultimately, and an issue that you likely would want to get resolved as well. So the underlying value of what a short term is to think about, well, if this is a problem that I just got bumped to, how would I want to take care of that? What would be a happy ending to this particular encounter? Another useful way to think about one's values, or in terms of valued outcome, is often to think about, well, how would somebody I know who I really admire in this kind of situation, how would they handle it? And what would a good outcome be for them? And then can I enact that? So what we have here in a calm attitude is a way of thinking about yourself as you move through the world. As we move through the world, what happens to us is things often come out of surprise. They may bump us in a particular way. And often when something happens that we don't like, we have a negative emotional reaction. That negative emotional reaction charges us. It will often charge us to be either hostile and irritable. It can charge us to be guilty or shameful. It can charge us to feel threat. It can charge us in a way that makes us feel depressed or defeated, and at the very least, feel distressed. Now, what I see many individuals do is they either try to deny those set of negative feelings, or they react based on them without reflection. Over and over again, individuals hit with negative feelings, again, don't know what to do with them, or overreact based on them. The calm attitude orients us to think about how to be reflective. That means we're going to become aware of the situation that we're in, and we're then going to attend with curiosity, acceptance, loving compassion, and motivated toward valued states of being to the feelings, the situation, other people, and ourselves, and engender an attitude to understand that situation, to be present in that situation and accept it, to hold a positive attitude towards self and other, and to orient ourselves toward the valued outcomes in the short and long term. If you can cultivate an attitude of calm, learn what it stands for, see examples of individuals who are responding sort of the opposite of calm, who fly off the handle, or who try to deny, or who blame other individuals, and then contrast those responses to what the principles of the calm attitude articulate. That will give you a mental map of what it is to look for. If you understand each one of these words, that will enable you to see what they mean, and then to put them together enables you to get a picture of the kind of attitude, the kind of ways of responding, the kind of ways to become aware and non-judgmentally accept with loving compassion and motivated toward valued outcomes, a way of adaptively adjusting to the bumps in our life. So I encourage you to learn these 4 words. I encourage you to think about how you might practice them. Think about ways in which you haven't responded calmly or other people haven't responded calmly, and identify what happens when that occurs. What we often see is individuals get entrenched in particular positions. They either blame themselves or blame other people, or brush the incident under the rug and pretend it didn't happen, because they don't know how to adjust and adapt. What the calm attitude provides for you is a set of principles that will guide you towards adapting in a way that orient you towards achieving your valued states of being. And if you learn, apply, and practice this attitude, you will be able to move yourself in that desired direction. Thank you.